Welcome back. It's Jay Stan. Welcome back to another episode of Say Less. It's been a while, folks. I'm back. I'm just making sure everything gets back to the way it needs to go. My name is Jay Stan, one half of the dynamic duo better known as In Retrospect Podcast, where usually we would look at the surface to find understanding. But hey, for here, we're going to look at it for what it is. So I appreciate you all tuning in. Always remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate the support we're getting. Continue to please support us. It's great, man. It's a great time. There's a lot of things going on. We're going to get into it. But we're going to open this up a little differently today because I want to hear some comments. I want to know how everyone's feeling. I would love to hear this. So for $1 million, for $1 million, would you fight 20 10-year-olds or would you fight three 16-year-olds? Of course, I saw this on social media and I thought to myself, I would love to hear everyone's feedback on this. These kids are not the same. You got 10-year-olds looking like 18-year-olds. You got 16-year-olds looking like 40-year-old men. Or you could look at it as from the perspective of, oh, I could take on anybody I want for $1 million. I saw a couple things, man. And I'm just curious to know, would you fight 20 10-year-olds for $1 million or three 16-year-olds for $1 million? That is the magical question. Me, ain't no telling, man. Uh, we'll go with the tens, even though they're probably gonna tower over me because nowadays you got 10-year-olds looking like 5-star recruits going into college for sports. It's an insane time. But hey, man, just drop your comments below. Let me know, what would you do? 20 10-year-olds you would fight, or three 16-year-olds? Let me know. Drop your responses in the comments. I would love to know feedback. Moving along, this past weekend, as everyone knows, was Dreamville Fest. I was supposed to go. Some things came up. It's all good. Everybody enjoyed themselves. I watched on YouTube. It was an amazing show. Or Dreamville Fest, just an amazing, like, put together of everything of different artists performing. It was amazing. But notably, I'm going to talk about it, the beef that's been ongoing between Drake and J. Cole. Well, Drake, not Drake and J. Cole, but Drake and Kendrick Lamar. And Kendrick Lamar shot fires at the big three, with J. Cole being included in that big three. And J. Cole responded back with the 7 minute with the 7 minute drill track back to J. Cole, not to J. Cole, but to Kendrick Lamar, I should say. And this past weekend at Dreamville Fest, he said he regretted doing it. He wanted to apologize to Kendrick, said it was some of the lamest, corniest thing that he's ever done. And he was sincerely apologetic about it all. He put it out there, and he, of course, tried to squash the beef that they had that is ongoing. But apparently, Kendrick is supposed to drop an album in response to that. So this is going to be interesting this upcoming week. He's trying to squash it, but Kendrick's going to get off what he has to get off his chest. But, of course, he said, I'm so proud of everything that's been going on. Cole said, except for that one part with all the back and forth he has going on with Kendrick. He said it's, it's one of those things that happens. And he said he's felt like it's the lamest thing he's done. And he's did in his effing life, of course. And he asked the crowd, if they loved Kendrick, and he let everybody know that he loves Kendrick as well. His music, his body of work, everything he's done for the culture. So ultimately, he's trying to squash it. But of course, that didn't sit well with everybody. Some folks are saying that, oh, this is your king. Y'all love J. Cole so much. Why is he backing down? He shouldn't back down when you're going back and forth with an artist. So, I mean, this has left a lot of folks feeling some type of way. But honestly, hey, if he feels that, for the safety of himself, his family, or just in general, that this just doesn't need to go any further, then doesn't need to go any further. That's a different type of maturity, of course, saying how you don't want the situation to go any further. You want it to end here. But please believe Kendrick is more than likely going to give you his 2 cents. I don't know if J. Cole heard a leak. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There's always a lot going on behind the scenes. But even then, these folks right here, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, I mean, they're very well off, got great fan bases, respectfully. I like both of them, me personally. So, I mean, Cole doing this, it don't surprise me. I don't know how to explain it, man. It's just like, I can't really. Now, 7 minute drill, he went in. He went in on Kendrick. So I expect a response from Kendrick, even though allegedly it's over. But it's been insane seeing these two heavyweights go back and forth because I'm just like, is this a marketing scheme, marketing tool? But I guess it was realer than I thought because J. Cole's apologizing and Kendrick is ready to send out some more songs. Whole time, this whole beef is really between Drake and Kendrick. So it's an interesting time. So we're gonna see. We really are gonna see how this all ends up. But needless to say, man, they're bridging the gap with music with everybody, bringing their fan bases together. J. Cole's trying to squash it. Kendrick's trying to get everybody uh, attentive to what's going on, letting everybody know his skills. But everybody should be aware of Kendrick. If you do not know, you should tap in for sure. But this past weekend as well, what also took place was that the Carolina Gamecocks women's basketball team won the women's college basketball championship. Undefeated season after losing all five starters last year. It was incredible. I am a native of South Carolina, so I automatically was rooting for these girls to win, which is wild to me how it seemed like they were under the radar of sorts most of the year. It's crazy to say just because of all the storylines that were going on. You had Angel Reese, you had Cameron Brink, you had it's crazy because I can list off all these women's college basketball players' names, but I couldn't tell you most of the men's basketball, college basketball players' names. But hey, it is what it is. Women's college basketball is on the rise. Women's basketball in general is on the rise. So I just want to say shout out to Don Staley and the South Carolina women's basketball Gamecocks. It was an amazing game. Uh, I was kind of concerned at the beginning, not gonna lie. The officiating was a little spotty, but hey, it got under control. Ultimately, you can ultimately it's going to work itself out. I'm glad it did. They really did deserve it. It's so many storylines coming from this team, so many sacrifices. Everybody makes sacrifices, of course, but an undefeated season is nothing to sneeze at. That is incredible, especially after losing all 5 year starters. So, had a lot of people step up, and it's just amazing how Dawn has the ability to bring all these talented young women onto one team and they all accept their roles. Because even in one of her interviews, she said that she had some of the players that could go start anywhere sitting on the bench and coming off the bench. Sometimes they get 3 minutes, sometimes they get four, sometimes they get none, which is insane, especially in this time with the NIL money rolling around and everybody wanting that exposure so they can get paid. So my hat's off to Don Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks for bringing it home. Now, let's repeat. Let's do it again. Let's do it. But we cannot leave out the woman on the other side who, in my opinion, has elevated the women's college basketball game, or really just women's basketball in general. Of course, a lot of folks need to just give her praise. Me personally, I know uh she gets a it's rough for her to get this, praise from some people because you have some folks that said, hey, some folks came before you. They should be getting more praise. But unfortunately, this is where we're at. Okay. It's happening now. She's spearheading the new movement. So she should get her flowers. The person I'm talking about is Caitlin Clark. Yes, please. Caitlin Clark. They call Caitlin Clark. Let's talk about it. She is amazing. She's really great at what she does, really sensational at everything she does on the court. She shoots from half court. I mean, further than most men can shoot or people in general can shoot. She shoots the ball and she has a bunch of different skills. Like a lot of folks really get on her for her volume shooting, but she's a very, very gifted passer. So I just want to get this time to give Caitlin Clark her flowers because she has elevated the women's game to a whole new level and deserves respect. So don't ever, I hear people all the time, oh, I'm tired of Caitlin. All they talk about is Caitlin, but she's a really good player. Granted, it's not her fault. They're pushing her so hard. The media always picks one person to push, and she deserves to get pushed. She's a great player. Now, I will say, you have an impact when you have games when you're supposed to be drafted into the WNBA. She's going first overall, number one pick. Okay, let's put that out there. And you already have teams that are moving their games to bigger arenas. That's insane. The impact is real. And Caitlin Clark deserves her flowers. One of a kind. We probably will not see this for a long, long time. Generational talent, and I just want to shout her out, of course, and of course another shout out to the Carolina women's basketball team, Gamecocks, of course, for winning. But Caitlin Clark is a generational player who has been impactful with everything that is going on in women's basketball. So shout outs to her. Everybody, make sure you tune in to the NBA, not the NBA, the WNBA draft that is supposed to take place on April 15th, 2024, this upcoming Monday. So I just want to shout that out. Caitlin Clark is definitely going number one. If she doesn't, I'll be shocked, but we'll see. So I just want everybody to know that. And I appreciate you all, of course, for tuning in to another episode of Say Less. Always remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I appreciate you all. And I'll catch you again every other Tuesday.